Hi and welcome to Best in Tesla. So Tesla actually shared a big surprise at the We Robot event. But I don't think many people even realize the implications of this, because Tesla is going to force every other robotaxi company to just buy a Tesla Cybercab. Because if they don't, they will be left in the dust. Not by Tesla, but by people like you and me. Tesla just made another genius move and set the whole industry at checkmate. But the rest of the industry just don't know it yet. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So, for me, one of the biggest surprises at the We Robot event was that everyone is going to be able to buy a Cybercab from Tesla, because this changes the game completely. And I will get into that in a moment. But Tesla also shared that the price of buying a robotaxi is going to be less than $30,000. I was disappointed that they didn't tell us more about the unbox production method, because this is such a huge piece of this puzzle, but the production of the Cybercab is still a couple of years out, so I do understand why they didn't tell us more about it. But if we just go with what we know so far about the unbox production method, they should earn very good money on that $30,000 Cybercab, because this is about half the price of the Model 3 to produce, so about $18,000. But then we also don't have any steering wheel or pedals or glass roof and so much more, so this car will be extremely cheap for Tesla to mass produce, probably around $15,000. So they will earn very good money on selling them, and that might be why they have decided to do this, as this will bring in money straight away for Tesla. Then they don't have to wait for the robotaxis to pay themselves off. They already get maybe $15,000 up front when they sell the robotaxis to you and I and everyone else. And then Tesla will of course also earn money on every taxi ride the car is going to do. And every robotaxi will probably have a mandatory $99 fee for a monthly subscription to full self-driving software that is running the car. So Tesla should be earning a lot of money very fast when they launch this thing. So they are making the same business model as they did with the training of the full self-driving. Customers pay Tesla for the car and then help training the software. That was brilliant. Now, customers are going to pay Tesla to put robotaxis on the street that will make Tesla money on software and charging and cleaning service and more. Brilliant. And no one is going to be able to compete, especially not the legacy automakers that cannot even build a normal electric car for $30,000 and be profitable. Mary Barra has even told us that GM will not be able to build and sell a $30,000 to $40,000 EV this decade and be profitable. And only in a few years, Tesla will sell an EV that will be 100% full self-driving for $30,000 with very high margins, maybe 50%. Who will then buy the old flip phone of a normal electric car when you can have your own chauffeur? You can even buy two, having one for your kids, driving them around for school and soccer practice and whatever, and one for you and your wife, driving you to work, and then when you want to go downtown to have a few drinks, you never have to worry about who is driving, because none of you are. So no one of the legacy automakers are going to be able to compare, as they have all given up on their autonomous vehicle. So the fact that Tesla is selling these cars to you and me is going to make all the other cars obsolete, except the other Tesla cars that will also be able to drive themselves, of course, because Tesla will probably still make other cars for people that still want to drive themselves. Well, you can. You can just buy a Model 3 or Y or the next generation vehicle, but the Tesla software will of course be in those cars supervising you, so your Tesla car will basically never be able to crash, as the car will constantly be watching you and making sure it can take over when you mess up. So cars that can only be driven by a human will be obsolete in a few years. Because why would you get one of those dangerous ones that can actually crash? And Tesla is going to earn so much money on their Cybercab and their full self-driving software, so they don't really have to be profitable on the other cars on the selling price, so they could put some enormous pressure on the competition. The industry is going to completely change in a few years, starting next year with Tesla's full self-driving unsupervised, when that is going to be rolled out in the US, in Texas and California first. But the robotaxi scene has also changed completely, because Tesla has made a product that is so superior that every other competitor will be a fool if they don't just buy a Cybercab instead, because Tesla has not just made another robotaxi as so many others. Let me explain why. So far, Waymo's robotaxi cost them about $100,000 to build. That is the lowest numbers I have heard. And ARK Invest have said that the sensor sweep alone on the Waymo robotaxi costs more than $40,000. So in 2 to 3 years, you and I will be able to buy a Cybercab from Tesla for less than $30,000. So we will be able to operate a fleet of robotaxis cheaper than Waymo can. I think that is putting things into perspective. Waymo doesn't really stand a chance anymore with the business model they have today, and they will not be able to be cost effective with you and me in the future. As we have to remember, Waymo doesn't build cars, they buy cars and then refit them with their sensors and computers. So they will never be able to make a robotaxi as cost effective as Tesla. So because Tesla is not just making a robotaxi, but disrupting the way we build a car altogether, they will not just have a robotaxis like many others, but they will be the absolute cheapest robotaxis to build and operate on the market. It will be at least 3 times cheaper for Waymo just to buy a Cybercab than getting Seeker or Hyundai to build their electric car for them that they buy and then put sensors on for about $40,000 on top of the car. So this will undermine Waymo's business model so much that I cannot see how this will not be the thing that is happening. Instead of spending $10 billion on building 100,000 Waymo robotaxis that they can operate in 5 small areas in 5 cities, they can spend less than $3 billion and have 100,000 Cybercabs that can basically drive everywhere it's approved, or just spend that $10 billion and then get 300,000 Cybercabs instead. And then they don't have to pre-map anything and only buy Tesla Cybercabs and put them on the streets, wherever robotaxis are approved, of course. But this is so much cheaper for Waymo to do and will speed up the deployment progress with an order of magnitude. Remember, it has taken Waymo 6 to 7 years to get 5 small areas in 5 cities geofenced and pre-mapped, and they are still losing money, even though they have had robotaxis on the street for 7 years. So I might have posted this little picture as a little joke before the We Robot event, but knowing after the event that everyone can buy these Cybercabs kind of made this picture into reality, because the technology Waymo has today, as I talked about so many times before, is not scalable. So they will either be left completely behind, or they can just buy Tesla's robotaxis and be part of the game, as every other person on the planet will be able to do. And the fact that Tesla will also make a Cybervan opens up a whole new market as well, because that made me think that Tesla is also going to sell that bus to everyone that wants one. as they have already teased in pictures that was shown in the Cybercab at the event, like the Tesla service van, but also the school bus, or the bus being turned into a food truck, or person sitting with his dog next to the Cybervan watching the sunset, showing that you can get Tesla's new platform here and then make it into whatever you want. You want to make it into a camper and go see the world? Do that. You don't even have to drive anymore. You can just spend your time watching the scenery, read a book, or watch a movie. What you do, the time driving, is up to you. Or every school district can get them turned into school buses, driving your kids safely around with no pollution, no accident, and no cost for a driver. The possibility here is pretty much endless with this Cybervan platform. And I will bet that Tesla will be able to make that platform for less than $100,000 like Waymo, probably more like $50,000. So they will even be able to do this for less than what Waymo spends on making their robotaxis as of today. That platform is also going to change so many industries, because businesses can now turn it into a rolling workshop. You don't need to have an electric van like the Ford Transit. You can just get one of these, and that can drive to every construction site you needed to be at without anyone driving the thing there. This can turn into whatever you like, just like Tesla will no doubt make this picture into reality themselves, having a Cybervan turned into a service van with an Optimus robot inside of it, ready to come out and change your tire or whatever needs fixing. Just imagine a cyberbus turning up after the hurricane like we have just seen in Florida, filled with Optimus robot, jumping out and starting filling up other cybervans made into a container on wheels, and then hundreds or even thousands of Optimus robots can start cleaning the streets. Every city that lives in an area that get hit by a hurricane will probably have an emergency setup like this. Thousands of Optimus robots that can come in and clean up the city with autonomous vehicles, not putting any human lives in danger. And when there is no hurricane, robots can just walk around the city, keeping it clean. I can really start to see what the future is going to look like. Tesla is opening up an endless possibility with their Cybercab and Cybervan combined with their Optimus robot. And from what we know and saw at the We Robot event, no one has anything ready that can compete with the Cybercab in terms of cost. And that is why it makes no sense for someone like Waymo or anyone else like Baidu in China to continue their pre-mapping geofenced area robotaxi, as they can make something that is better but cheaper by simply buying a Cybercab. Because if they don't, they will just be obsolete. Because if they don't do it, you and I will just do it. I would love to buy 10 Cybercabs, 2 for me and my family, and 8 to just run as robotaxis. This is something that most people will easily be able to afford, especially with the business model that 8 of them are going to make money for you. Within 1 year or so, these 10 Cybercabs will be paid off, and then you are talking about only profits going forward. And Tesla will probably also earn money on their self-cleaning stations, where the Cybercabs will go to charge. So Tesla will of course also earn money on that your Cybercabs need charging, and then they will no doubt also take a fee for the cleaning of the cab. You can of course do that yourself if you like, but you can also just pay a little fee to Tesla, and then you don't have to ever worry about your Cybercab at all. They will just drive around earning you money, go charge themselves up on the wireless charging station Tesla will build and get cleaned, and then go out earning you some more money. So because Tesla has opened it up for everyone to be able to do this, they are actually forcing everyone else to just give up or buy Tesla's Cybercab, or else they will be outcompeted by all other normal people or businesses that will suddenly just start operating their own little Cybercab fleet of their own. Companies could make transport for their employees free, and when they are at work, the Cybercabs will just be sent out earning money for the companies as robotaxis until they have to drive the employees home and then work as a normal robotaxi again all the night. So this is actually a brilliant move from Tesla. They will make sure that other robotaxi companies have no choice but buy a Cybercab if they want to stay in business. Otherwise, they will lose to everyone else that wants to start a robotaxi fleet, because this will get robotaxis on the street of every city that will allow it very fast. Whereas Waymo or Baidu, they have to pre-map every city they want to be in. So they will not be able to keep up with the amount of cybercabs that will suddenly start spreading like a virus in every city. By opening up to everyone and disrupting the way we are manufacturing a car, Tesla is suddenly forcing every other robotaxi company to quit their old slow way and just buy a cybercab. Because this will also make this happen so much faster than Waymo's extremely slow and expensive way. So this will be in line with Tesla's mission to accelerate the world's transition to renewable energy. But that big surprise, Tesla told us at the robot event that everyone can buy a cybercab, actually changed everything. I just don't think many people realized it.
And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.